Yeah. I'm from AW Construction, which is part of the AW group based here in Folkestone, up on Shearway. We do a lot of construction projects for commercial and retail customers. Also on the rail, we get an awful lot of construction waste back to our yard, which is just past Tesco's at Mottis. We identified earlier this year that we were not utilising the material that came back to our site in either upcycling, recycling. It was basically going in skips and then just getting taken away to waste stations, and we never saw the end of it. The skips we were literally getting the skips almost daily at our site, taking away material. The cost of skips has obviously gone up. Sorry, Tony. With obviously the fuel prices, stuff like that. So we sort of identified that we were also getting a lot of void space in our skips, particularly with timber. The timber we use can only be used when we buy new, can only be used as single use. What we do with a lot of our timber is we make arch formers to repair brickwork within the arches on the railways. So it's cut to a specific length. To do those repairs, it cannot be then utilised. It will be in a curved shape. It can't be then taken from one site to another because they're all different curves. So a lot of our material was coming back, it's been thrown in the skip, and it could be reused. After speaking with Martin and Rob and other people at Low Carbon Kent, Low Case, they introduced us to, I think, Erik, who was at Kent Construction Focus Group, which is run by Kent Victoria Chamber of Commerce, where we're all members. And then we had a conversation about how could Erik use that timber. And then we realised that there was not only sort of a sustainable environmental aspect to it, there's also a social value to the work in which Erik does. We then took away our wood skips and created a separate, I mean, we're lucky because we have our own yard. Not everybody has that, that privilege. We created a separate area in our yard for our guys to return material to the yard. They stack boards vertically so that Erik can come down and take any sheet material away. OSB boards that may have only been used on a site but may have been painted blue on one side but clear on the other. And then the general timber goes into a big pile. The first time Erik came down, told us he would get 14 yards away. We know what we get in a 14-yard skip. I can safely say that Erik probably took away double the amount of timber that would have been in a traditional 14-yard skip. On the precursor of that, after speaking to Erik about the sort of materials and projects he gets involved with the timber that he comes and collects, he very kindly then made us a lot of the material that we used at King Construction Expo last week. I know Walker's had an amazing stand made out of their skip diving exploits, as we live just opposite you. So Erik made us a wonderful planter with a load of sustainable wheatgrass in, which has now unfortunately got a bit of frost damage, so it's now got some lovely plants in, which is now outside our office down on Shearway, which we're hoping will attract wildlife, bees pollinating, all that sort of stuff. He also made us some other bits and pieces, bird boxes, which we'll be putting up down at Shearway to attract an ever-increasing biodiversity thingy-majiggy. So yeah, your go.
Thank you. First of all, are the subtitles on? Am I speak in a funny accent? So I'm Erik from Woodpeckers of Kent. I didn't invent this business model. I'm part of a national grid of 30 enterprises all over the country. I'm the Kent entity. It's a social enterprise, and we are part of the community wood recycling in Brighton that set up contracts, or that set up this business model 22 years ago with contracts with the main national builders, so sorry, also local builders, but they are my responsibility, or local clients like AW Group. We are an alternative to skips at building sites. This is the main income stream and purpose of what we do as a social enterprise. So we collect the timber from the sites, the sorry Tony, even though I don't know you, but we are this alternative to that 12-yard skip that looks absolutely amazingly not full when we go to the building sites, and then we see our massive big wood pile. We sort it out manually, and this is where the advantage of our business model kicks in. Since we are social, we also participate from volunteers. So if we would be a for-profit company, we couldn't do this because salaries would explode the and then we wouldn't be the cost-efficient alternative to skips. Due to the manual loading process, we are as wide efficient as you can be if we stack it up lengthwise rather than crossed. So we fit in, I would say, at least 1.5 skips into our 14-yarder. Then we take it away. There are also a few bellies, apart from the approximately 70% goodies. So the goodies are the high-grade and low-grade timber. So we have 3 categories of timber that we collect. Actually, we collect all of them, but some of them are contaminated, unfortunately, with paint, with tar, with gypsum, with whatever construction waste. And we sort it out, and approximately 70% of that timber collected is high-grade to low-grade, and then we have approximately 30% that is recycled material, and this will be shredded into various products like animal beddings, if it's really clean, into chipboards or OSB boards, and then reused in normal material that you can buy. The high-grade timber is timber that we are using for our projects, like the usual suspects, planters, cat and dog beds, we have a few there. And for the DIY market, so DIYers that want to build a shed, want to build a, like a storage facility for their bins or bicycles, they come to us. Home renovation projects, and the low-grade timber is pretty much firewood. So we cut the timber that can be used for firewood into firewood, bag it up, and sell it. Yeah, the firewood from us has a massive advantage in comparison to logs. I know all firewood is environmentally unfriendly because we produce quite some parts per micron emission, but if people have log burners, of course they need to feed them, or biomass boilers, and they can get it from us. The advantage with the construction timber is the humidity level is far lower than with logs. Logs have humidity level of up to 40% sometimes, depending what the log retailer is telling you where he's getting it from. For instance, during the delivery, it's raining on them, and if you want to use it, then it creates far more environmentally unfriendly emissions, while in comparison the construction timber has between 60 and maximum 20% of humidity. This is pretty much what we do. As a social enterprise, we are heavily relying on volunteers, and since I know that you all have a green heart, I have a few name cards out there. I will hand them out to all of you. Martin already promised to volunteer. I will make you work hard. And no, seriously, please spread the words. We need volunteers. Unfortunately, we are living, our operation is in the sticks in Betherston, which is also known as the English capital of the honeybee. I made it up. I'm a beekeeper, so yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Erik.